No doubt that you are a very fluent speaker. No matter what questions are asked, you start answering and you speak without any pauses, without any filler words, without any hesitation. Very self motivated, like so smooth. Fluency 10 on 10. I think you're one of the most fluent speakers that I've come across on the planet.
Am I audible?
Yes, just a second.
Okay.
I don't know why automatically this background changes to some
Yeah, yeah,
different
yeah.
different images. So I
It
hope
was
it's
so
clear
it
now.
was so fancy. Yeah, now it is clear.
Yeah,
I can see.
right. Okay, okay, great. Hi, Rahul. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. How are you?
Perfectly fine. Thank you for asking. I had a pretty good and a relaxing weekend. How about you?
In my case, the weekend was something different. I mean, I had to go somewhere and I had to rush for this session. So it was, yeah, I was about to postpone the session for today. I mean, till the evening. I
Okay,
was
what is
traveling
that?
somewhere. I
Reschedule the
was,
session.
I was traveling somewhere and I didn't think that I could get time. So I text Vikas regarding the postponement, but he didn't see. He could not. I could not reach to him on time.
Okay,
And
okay. All right, all
yeah,
right. No
and
problem. I hope now it is a good time. You can engage in a
yeah,
conversation with me. Is it okay?
now it is a good time. I mean, I
Okay,
was
lovely. I'm so
in
glad to
yeah.
hear that. So fine. So clearly you've had a lot of things on your plate over the
Yeah,
last
yeah.
2 days. I can see that.
Already my plate is already full, but still in order to do something different, I'm engaging myself in such activities like speaking with tutors like you.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I feel it's very important. It's vital to take some time out for our self development because throughout the day we are so busy with work, working for somebody, generating profits
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff like that. But I feel
yeah,
at
yeah.
least 30 minutes a day we should do something for personal development, and you have taken the step. So kudos to you. Good.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, the personal development requires a time to be given, and on our part, if we do not pay attention to what needs to be done for the sake of our development, then things are not going in a good way. So it is our
Correct.
duty to
Hmm.
do something for the sake of our development, and in the
Very
way we
true.
will be able to contribute in the future that we might have.
Yes, you will be able to contribute to the society, and even internally, you will feel so good about yourself. It's a way to enhance your self confidence, learning a language, practicing some art techniques, watching your favorite film, and,
Yeah, yeah,
understanding the plot properly. All these things make your life more interesting. Yeah. So I think thanks
and
to internet and thanks to social media that this has become possible for all of us.
yeah, yeah, this is what we are about to discuss today. I mean, social media
Yeah.
is a huge topic, and it is the most complicated word or the most complicated thing to discuss or to be debate on is what I personally perceive, because it has its do's and don'ts, or it has its bad sides and it has its good sides too, and you get to connect with the world through
Yeah.
the use of social media, but at the
Hmm.
same time it keeps you so engaged that you are unable to detach yourself from this addiction that you are into. So this
Yeah,
is,
so it's
yeah,
kind of addictive. That's what you're trying to say. It's very
yeah,
addictive.
yeah. It's very
Yeah,
addictive. Once you get into the habit, then it becomes difficult, or it becomes very hard for you to get out of yourself. Yeah,
very true. Like once you're addicted to any social media platform, whether
yeah,
it's YouTube or Instagram, it's very hard to pull yourself away from it. So
and
I,
yeah.
yeah, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, go on. And this has become very difficult these days,
Mm.
because I mean, the reels and the short videos,
Yeah.
it is influencing our capacity of learning things also. I mean,
Yeah.
if you go on scrolling the reels you're watching on
Mm.
Instagram, or let's say on YouTube, then the kind of attention, the capacity to focus on something, it
Mm.
has decreased. I mean, you can only focus on something for 30 seconds now. and without understanding the thing that you're watching or you're looking at, you just scroll it down and you watch it. I mean, the expectations of a human being that there will be something ahead and I need to
Yeah.
move forward. This is a good thing, but it makes you you're building castles in the air. I mean,
Hmm.
through these social
You're
media
building
kind of things.
castles in the air. I don't think that would be a perfect expression here. I think you're more interested to see
Okay.
what's ahead instead of savoring what's there right now. Right? So that's what it means. That's what you can say. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
it could be. It
definitely
could be.
social
Yeah.
media has its downsides. I completely agree. Do you feel like social media can help in the field of education? Do you think it can be used as a tool for education?
Yeah, it can be used as a tool, as we can see as we are interacting with each other. This could be called as an academic meeting, or this could be we are having a conversation. I'm getting to
Yeah.
learn something from you, and it
Yeah.
it could happen only because of the social media and its
Yeah.
availability that we have. So it depends. I mean, the people who are illiterate, the people who are not educated, I don't think they what kind of use they make out of social media. But uh, people like us, or people like the people who are students and who are learning
Yeah.
something, who have
Yes.
enrolled in an institution and they are working on something, they will get benefit from these social media platforms.
Right. Right. So true.
Yeah.
So, other than English, are you learning any other skill from social media?
Yeah, soft skills I do learn from people because
Good.
the way
That's
they
nice.
perceive things. Yeah, because in social media you get to understand the details that go into some happenings. Let's say, suppose there is an event taking place. So, what goes into that event through
Hmm.
vlogs or something, you can understand that the step by step guide that
Hmm.
person will be giving or providing to you, and you can
Yeah.
understand that. I mean, you get to the only human the defect or the only bad thing about social media is it does
Yeah.
not involve that, it does not have that human touch that we require as human beings. I mean,
Hmm.
this is
Yes.
what
So,
has been lost only, and the rest of the things are very good. I mean, you get to connect, you get to learn, you get to understand, you get to interact, so it's
hmm.
good. Yeah.
Okay. So, in one sentence, you said that we are losing the human interaction.
Yeah.
And in the other sentence, you said that it is helping us connect. So,
Okay.
would you like to
This
tell
is
me? Wait, would you
okay.
like to tell me why did you say that we are losing human interaction? I'm very curious to know your reason behind it.
The reason behind saying this stuff is that uh,
Mm.
when the technology was invented at first, it was invented to connect people from different parts
Mm.
of the world. Let's say
Mm.
people from India could connect with America, or let's say
Yeah.
Africa. Okay, so but nowadays, since we do have mobile, we are living in. We used to live in a joint family. Now we have started living in nuclear families, and everybody is, suppose they are dining together. Everybody is
Yeah.
having their phones with them, and
Mm-hmm.
they are just scrolling it down. There is a lack of communication that the social media or the gadgets that we uh, spend our most time with,
Yeah.
they generate this lack of interaction, and any relationship sustains with communication. That's what I personally believe. So
Yeah.
in this way we are lacking the human touch, because suppose there is an event that there I needs to be present, but
But I
I
need to be
only,
present.
yeah, where I need to be present, but I make my presence felt in terms of only virtual meetings. That's
Right.
not going to happen. I mean, this does not help at all to that person, because if you are suppose this conversation that we are having, it is a
Mm-hmm.
taking in person,
Mm-hmm.
then the kind of learning that it generates is
Yeah.
totally better than this, because you can see the facial expression of that person, how that
Correct.
person is perceiving the dialogue, how that person is
Yes.
speaking, the kind of tone that person has, the pitch, the tempo. So this is what I personally think that uh, social media does not provide you with.
But right now we are interacting with each other, or maybe let's say you're learning English from a really good content creator. But you
Yeah.
have access to these things, right? You can see their body language, you can see their expressions, you can observe the tempo in their voice, right? Don't you feel so?
Yeah. I do feel it. So, I mean, but even if this is the situation or this is the case, but still, human
Yeah.
interaction is something that I would love to have instead
Live
of this that
interaction.
we are having. Yeah, lively. It is lively. Hey, yeah, it is
Yeah.
not just live this like this, but it is more lively, energetic, and it makes you feel more human. I mean, you
Yes.
understand even the details, even if there are some gaps in the communication, but still you
Yes.
understand that, okay, why would that person speak in such a way. You can
Hmm.
understand that easily if you are in front of that person.
Hmm. This is a fantastic answer. The reason
Yeah,
why I was cross questioning you, the reason why I was
yeah,
pushing you so much is so that you arrive at this point that you prefer that live human interaction. You want to be seen, you want to be heard. You don't want a mechanical conversation where the other
yeah,
person
yeah,
is just talking and you're just looking at the screen and consuming it. So
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah. Staring at the screens and
staring at the
um,
screen.
yeah,
Yes. So,
this is
yeah.
what we have been experienced since we are we since we faced a pandemic.
Yeah. True,
Yeah,
true, very true. I think
we
social
did.
media went like it was this phase of boom for social
Yeah,
media in the
yeah, yeah,
entire
yeah, yeah.
pandemic
It
situation,
was.
right? Everybody, like doctors, engineers, lawyers, everybody started becoming content creators. Everybody started blogging their day-to-day life. So I think it witnessed a boom during the pandemic situation. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So would you like to be a content creator for social media? Any
Uh,
platform?
I'd like I'd like to be a content creator, but not in terms of the content that we see these days, but the kind of content that an educator should deliver to the audience.
Hmm.
Let's say
Okay.
once I mastered the language that we are speaking in to the fullest, and I'm very good at English now, and I can speak the way not the natives but the Indians do, and I'm very
You
good at
can
this
speak like an
language.
upper intermediate level speaker, right? You
Yeah,
can speak
upper
fluently. You are
intermediate.
comfortable,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
right?
and sometimes it happens that even if your English is good, but still the person you're speaking with is not of your acquaintance. That so you get worried, you get the anxiety of being judged, and you don't open up so well and don't speak with that person as you would do with one of your friends.
Correct. 100% I know that. Even though a lot of people know sentence structures in English, they know vocabulary, they know grammar, they know everything. But somewhere the fear of judgment, the anxiety of being judged by others, that pulls them back, that stops them from, giving their best. So, yeah, that happens.
Yeah, and this is the problem that we as learners of English, we especially the Indians, we have been facing, or any learner for that matter, when that person is speaking for the first time, that person is trying to learn this language, make any conversation happen, and when he's in the company of a person who knows English or speaks English better than him, then that person will be under the impression of being judged, or he will be scared to speak of in the fear of being insulted, or in the fear of being judged, or
Right.
called bad names or something.
Very true. Very true. Yes.
But how do you think? I mean, as I was very curious to ask this question. If I may
Hmm.
ask, may I?
Please go ahead. Ask as many questions
Yeah.
as you want.
Yeah, okay. At the end of the this session, I would be asking two or three questions if we do have much time. And please remind me that you can ask the questions from now onwards. So before we jump to that moment, let me ask you another the first question of mine regarding this phobia that people do have in terms of English. That I mean, suppose I'm a beginner of English and I'm trying
Mhm.
my best to learn this language, and it happens
Mhm.
that whenever I try to speak the sentences. I mean, I know the words, but just because of my habit of thinking in my mother tongue, because any speaker of English would have gone through that process of that
Yeah,
those
translating.
translation kind of thing,
Mhm.
that he will think something in his or her mother tongue, and then that person will translate, and it requires, or it takes a lot of time, and if you're speaking with a person in person, you don't get that time and to reply. I mean, in social media it is fine that you get to text that person, you can understand that, okay, what should I reply that person with, and then you can text in English. But in real life situation, it does not happen that way, or it does not work that way. So how do you think that a person should cope up with this difficulty, or should should find a solution that is a solution that can be applicable to every person who is learning English right now? Yeah, I
Okay.
can understand that the
So
question
this,
was very vague and it was a long question.
I got the gist. I got the gist.
Yeah,
How to
thank you.
remember things that you learn.
Yeah.
And you said it's not possible. It's definitely possible. If a person is a beginner in English,
Okay.
then it's obvious that they have to put more efforts in remembering what they have learned. A lot of learners have this misconception that I'll learn a new word every day, okay,
Yeah.
and I'll remember it for the rest of my life, even if I don't use it too much. That's not possible. If you're learning 10 words today, it's your duty to revise it tomorrow. It's your duty to revise it
Okay.
day after tomorrow until it is cemented in your mind. Okay. Some people have great memory power. Within one or two revisions, they remember things. Some others require more effort. So you have to identify which category you are in. Do you have an excellent memory
Okay.
power? Then it's good for you. But for a majority of people, including me, I don't remember things if I look at it once. I have to revise it constantly, many times. So the secret is revision.
Okay, so you need to use
Revise what
those
you've
words
learned.
that you have come across deliberately, even if it is not likely to be used, but still you can make use of the word in order to repeat, in order to revise, and in order to keep it
Yes.
in your active memory. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what
Revision
I'm.
is the key.
Okay.
So even in school, if you look at students who are toppers, they will tell you, like, I did not study, I don't know anything. But the
Yeah,
truth
yeah,
is they have revised it multiple times. That's why they are able to remember the information or recall the information instantaneously. So it's a lot of effort. Don't feel like I'll see something once and I'll remember it forever. No, it doesn't happen for me even at this stage. Okay, so I
yeah.
have to
Okay.
revise. I have a folder in my mobile phone. It's called vocabulary folder. So every time I come
Okay.
across a new word, I go on Google, I get a meaning, I get the sample sentence, I take a screenshot
Okay.
and I put it in the folder. I don't sit and write it down. Okay, every night before going to sleep, I scroll through that folder, all the words. Right. So that's what I do.
Okay.
That's what everyone should do. So it's a bit of, I know it's hard work, but otherwise, how will you achieve anything if you don't work hard?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
and
the
I personally believe that the best
mm.
way to learn a language is to speak it. I mean, um, if you
Yeah,
want
that
to
is a
learn,
different thing.
I
But
mean, you
the
need to
question
try.
that you asked, yeah, that's a different thing. But for the question that you asked, this is the solution:
Yeah,
constant revision
yeah.
till it has become ingrained in your vocabulary. Okay.
Okay, so you don't you no longer need to remember. It is in your memory, and when you're thinking of something in English, it has to come at the spur of the moment, and you don't need to spend much time. And in order to make this happen, you need to revise that thing again and again. Okay, and that's very true, and I have done this many a times, and I still do. I mean, not many a
Very
times.
good.
I still do, and this is a good habit, and it works in terms of it works in terms of every people or every learner, because this is the key. I mean, practice is if people do spend reading their time reading
Yeah.
something, they do watch something, they uh, write many things also, but the only thing that they don't prefer to do is what speaking is. I mean, they do not speak at all, and they expect fluency, they expect accuracy, they expect
Hmm.
accuracy in terms of their pronunciation, the kind of accent they do have.
Yes, yes. And
So
one more thing that I've noticed, whenever they want to learn new words, they go on Google and whatever they see on the screen, they write it down. Tell me honestly, what's the point of writing things down which is already there in front of your eyes? So just take a snap, use the help of technology, and scroll. What you should write down, you should make it a habit to journal your thoughts. That is good.
yeah,
Writing
diary
something that is
writing.
already available to you, it's just waste of time. It's not smart work, right? Instead of writing the meaning, the sample sentences and all of that, write down your thoughts, do journaling, write reviews of the content that you watch online. So that's better practice.
Okay, I mean, I remember something when you mentioned that word journaling or something. When
Mm.
I was a beginner and I had just started learning this language,
Yeah,
what I used to do is I used to write down the thoughts that comes to my mind, and
good.
be it there were there. And as a human being, we have many millions of thoughts in a day, and
Mm.
if we uh, went on writing those down on a piece of paper, because it is a fact that the sentences that you can think, you can speak
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
So we need to get into the habit of writing by on our own something
correct.
on
Sometimes,
day
yes.
by day. It needs to be increased. Yeah,
Hmm.
and it works. It helps. It really helps,
So
and it has helped me in my case also.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad to
Ah,
hear
yeah.
that.
So coming to the point, or
Yeah,
yeah,
so I
coming to
would
the
like to
social
interrupt you
media
here.
topic.
Yeah, so I would like to
Okay.
interrupt you here, and I think before you start asking the questions, I'll give you a quick feedback. All right, your
Okay.
fluency 10 on 10. No doubt that you are a very fluent speaker. No matter what questions are asked, you start answering and you speak without any pauses, without any filler words, without any hesitation, very self motivated, like so smooth. Fluency 10 on 10. I think you're one of the most fluent speakers that I've come across on the platform. So great job.
Thank you.
Vocabulary, I think you have good amount of vocabulary stored with you to be able to describe your thoughts and feelings. So that is also great. Two things not related to vocab and grammar that will make your English communication better. Number one,
Okay.
you're very eager to talk, you're very motivated. I
Yeah.
salute you, but you have to allow the other person to finish before you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
talk. You cannot
Okay.
talk
Okay. That's
over
what I
them.
have realized.
They
Okay.
should not overlap, right? So when
Okay.
somebody is talking, until and unless they are done, just listen to them. Don't interrupt, okay? Once they are done talking, pause for 2 seconds to make sure that they are done, all right?
Okay.
Then start talking, then start expressing. This is a great quality to imbibe, and trust me, people will appreciate you a lot more if you wait for them to finish. Number one.
Okay. Very. Yeah.
Second,
Sure.
you are definitely, again, undoubtedly a very fluent speaker. Try to keep your sentences to the point, concise, and clear. You have a small tendency to repeat the same things using different words. Like you say that I am good, then maybe in the next sentence you'll say I'm fine. But at the end of the day, both of the things mean the same, right? You're just
Yeah.
paraphrasing it. Don't do that. If you've mentioned one idea once, done. That is done and dusted. Don't repeat it again. So keep it very concise, clear. This way, it'll be very easy and less exhausting for you, right? And the other person will be able to understand you a lot better because your questions are
Okay.
more direct. Okay. So two things only, right? Hold your horses before you start talking. Number two, keep your sentences concise to the point, and that's it. Only two things. Other than that, I think you're splendid. You're a splendid speaker.
Okay, ma'am. And this is what I have realized from the previous sessions that I had. I was, as you say, that I'm not a very patient person, I guess, and I'm not very.
Patiently,
I'm and overrated curious person or something. No, I'm not taking this negatively or something, but
I
this
know,
is
I know.
what I have realized. And now that yeah, now I think that this is being serious, and I need to act upon it in order to become a good speaker, like any
Yeah.
of you. So I'll surely work on these things, and I'll provide enough attention or enough time to that person that I'm having interactions with, and I'll allow that person to speak, and then I'll when my turn comes, or I'll speak. And the second that habit that I have uh,
Hmm.
associated myself with is because of I teach somewhere, and when you're teaching, you you employ lots of synonyms in your conversation, because you feel that if the student does not understand this, that person will understand this at least. So
Very true.
with this habit, I have come across that this experience of expressing the same thing.
Hmm.
It becomes a cliche, I guess.
Actually, I was guilty of this. I was guilty of the same thing when I started out my journey as a teacher. But I had some wonderful mentors, and they would tell
Okay.
me, Megha, you're going on and on and on. You need to stop at some point. You shouldn't paraphrase so much. So I told them, but ma'am, I just want to make sure that my students understand everything. What if they don't understand if I give them a small explanation? Then my mentor told me, if they don't understand, they will ask you. That time, paraphrase. Okay. So this is what I would like to say. The first time you're teaching your students, whatever subject you teach, explain it in a concise, clear manner. If they don't understand, they will ask you. That time you paraphrase. That time use the synonyms for the second time. Okay. So this way, it will make your life easy. You will get a lot of time to breathe. You will be less exhausted, and your points will be more clear. Easy. So thanks to this is the feedback that I used to get.